Hey guys, so today we are going to configure a BMS card. I have an Ethernet card, but the PCoNet is actually the same way. It's the same method. So first thing is, and we're doing this with a small bezel display. So the first thing I have to do is I'm going to hold from the main screen, I'm going to hold the alarm and the enter button at the same time. This is going to take you to this screen where it says system information, log data, and other information. We're going to scroll down to other information, and then your choices are ID product code, PCoWeb net config, memory status, and chip to version. We're going to choose PCoWeb/net config. And if you're using an MSTP card, you're going to do PCoNet settings. If you're using an Ethernet card, PCoWeb, you're going to do PCoWeb settings. In my case, I have a PCoWeb. And then from here, you can scroll through the screens and set the address. For an MSTP, you'll have an instance number, or it'll say ID number. And you can scroll through, set that, the MAC address, and some of the other information. But for the web card, we're going to start out with DHCP. So the first thing you need to do is turn that off. Unless you have a DHCP server on the IT end where it automatically changes and configures addresses, this won't be used. So we turn that off, and then from there, you can scroll up through each digit of the IP address. Then you can set the IP address by scrolling through. And then it'll take you to the next screen. And then you can set the net mask, the gateway. Oops. DNS. And then it gives you the BACnet ID. So that's, the BACnet ID is your instance number. So you can adjust that. And then BACnet type is IP. And then when you get to this last screen, you'll see PCoWeb config enable. PCoWeb config enable. So update PCoWeb. And you're going to change that no to a yes. And once you do that, it'll say please wait, and then update complete. Please reboot the PCoWeb to apply new setting. So from here, what you do is you just kill the main power. And you can do it from this plug, or you can just turn the disconnect off on a unit. And then you plug it back in. And then once it boots back up, now you want to check your settings. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hit alarm and enter and hold them in to go to this screen. Sometimes you'll accidentally, when you let go of the alarm, you'll go into system information and you'll see this by accident. So what you can do in that situation, you just press escape once and then it'll be back to this main screen. So scroll down to other information, PCoWeb net config. In my case, I'm going to PCoWeb settings, and see my IP address and everything is saved in there. DHCP is off, DNS. So everything I changed is now saved. And now I can just escape out of here. And my web card's good to go. So if whatever random IP address I set in, if if I were to plug into this card directly and then enter that address, it should take me to a generic screen. So Stulz doesn't have an HTTP setup where you can view the points, but if I hook into this with a laptop, I can see the inputs and outputs. They're kind of raw data, they're not really labeled, but they will show me, it will show me communication in the inputs and outputs. All right, thanks.